It is both volcanic also and also fold mountains. Yes. Fine. Rocky Mountains, both volcanic and fold mountains. Appalachian Mountain, old fold mountains. North America, Appalachian Mountains, old fold mountains. Caribbean islands are volcanic in origin. Caribbean islands are volcanic in origin. It is part of convergent boundaries. Andes Mountains, second highest mountains in the world. Okay, and the second highest mountain ranges in the world after Himalayas. It is fold mountains and volcanic. South America, fold mountains and volcanic. Aconcagua is the highest mountain peak of Andes Mountains. Highest mountain peaks of Andes Mountains. Then Atlas Mountains, Africa, Atlas Mountains, old fold mountains. Drakensberg Mountains. Drakensberg Mountains, old fold mountains. Tanzania region, Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa, Kilimanjaro is an example of volcanic mountain, world's highest freestanding mountain. That means individual mountain. Okay, world's highest freestanding mountain, closer to equator. Height is approximately 6 kilometers. This year important because Indian Army climbed that mountain. Right? Mount Kilimanjaro. See, till now whatever we saw is mostly fold mountains. World has a lot of fold mountains. Block mountains are very limited. And one such is Europe. Europe, guys. In Europe, Vosges and Black Forest. Please remember this. You will not have much of block mountains. One is like, Vosges and Black Forest. Another one is Western Ghats. Okay, these two are block mountains associated with the divergent boundary. Right? In the world, block mountains are very limited. So don't get confused. Switzerland region, Europe, Switzerland region, Alps mountains, Engfold mountains. Engfold mountains. Europe itself, Scandinavia, Old Fold mountains, right? Scandinavia, Old Fold mountains. Ural mountains, Old Fold mountains. North America, Rocky Mountains, Fold Mountains and Volcanic Mountains. Appalachian Mountains, which one? Old Fold Mountains. Andes Mountains, Engfold, and then Volcanic. Atlas Old Fold, Drakensberg Old Fold, Kilimanjaro Volcanic. Scandinavia Old Fold. Alps Mountains, Engfold. Alps is Engfold. Alps, Himalayas are all Engfold mountains. What about this? Vosges and Black Forest, if you are talking block mountains. And then, you see, in Turkey, Taurus. Yes, Asia, most of it will be fold mountains. In Asia, most of it will be fold mountains. Yes. Iran will have Zagros and Elbrus. Zagros and Elbrus. Asia, okay, Zagros and Elbrus, Asia, Iran, and not Europe. Yes. Himalayas, Kunlun Shan, Himalayas, Kunlun Shan, Hindu Kush, Sulaiman. Hindu Kush, Sulaiman. All are Engfold mountains, guys. Engfold mountains. Arakkanyoma, Peguyoma. This year very important. Arakkanyoma, Myanmar. Arakkanyoma, Peguyoma. Arakkanyoma, Peguyoma's continuation is Indonesia. These are all volcanic guys again. Southeast Asia, is volcanic. Asia, most of it will be fold mountains. And if you come, what is this region actually called? Pacific Ring of Fire. Right? What is it? Pacific Ring of Fire. What all will come? All these areas would be part of Pacific Ring of Fire. Guys, Australia, Great Dividing Range. Old Fold Mountains. New Zealand, Southern Alps. Yes, Great Dividing Range is Old Fold Mountain. Southern Alps is Young Fold Mountains. Major mountains in the region. See, in this entire thing, which is the one which was Block Mountains, Vosges and Black Forest. That's the reason you should have clarity. You should not do mistake with respect to exceptions. When they ask question, they also know that these are exceptions. Okay. And continents are mistakes case. Lot of people forgot what it is. So continents are very important. Just have clarity of which continent has which mountains. Okay. Yeah, ma'am. So in between Black Sea and Caspian Sea, Caucasus Mountains, and they are Young Fold Mountains. Just just remember all this. From Alps to Himalayas, whatever comes is Young Fold Mountains. They were all formed due to compression of Tethys Sea. Done? Okay. From yesterday's, weathering basically includes the terms that you must be aware. It is denudation. But the key word that you must remember is in situ. Okay. No question will be asked about weathering without giving the word in situ. Right? And then when we talk about weathering, there will be disintegration. Integration is bringing them together. Disintegration is breaking them. And decomposition, that means change in the composition. So there are three types: physical, chemical, biological. Here, there will be no chemical change. You will have, if they give names, guys, freeze thaw weathering, unloading and expansion, insulation weathering, salt crystal growth. Just names is enough. If you can demarcate which one is physical, which one is chemical, that's enough. Oxidation, reduction, solution, carbonation, words associated with weathering. This much, guys. Don't worry beyond this. Then, shall I move? You will have mass movement, mass wasting. Here, the most important factor is gravity. The most important factor which leads to movement is gravity. You will have creep or heave, which will be slowest of all. Slide will be there. Fall or flow. This is mostly mains question. So, in case if they ask what is what, you just need to be aware all these are due to gravity. And weathering is not mandatory for mass movement. Okay, weathering is not mandatory for mass movement. Erosion you will have transportation, plus denudation. It is ex situ. Whenever it is associated with river, we call fluvial landforms. fluvial landforms. If it is with wind, what do you call? Aeolian landforms. When river forms anything, it is fluvial. When wind forms, it will be Aeolian. Glaciers will be glacial. Underground water will be karst. This is important. This is important. Then sea waves, is coastal. It's maximum on this. What you can do, I'll give you few words that you need to remember. In case if they ask, it's been very long they have asked. Shall I? See guys, first, in India, most of the glacial landforms will be there in Himalayas. Yes. Actually, they are somewhat like application oriented, where it is located. Okay. So in India, glacial landforms are mostly near Himalayas, and in this, there will be few erosional landforms, few depositional landforms, and erosional landforms can be Horn, circuit, you might have heard, sites you will have. Depositional, this the soil deposited by glaciers are called till, glacial till we call, and big blocks that will be deposited are known as moraines. Erosional, depositional. In case if they ask, you will have drumlins. Fine. Eskers. Here. And one repeated one is about forts. Near the glaciers, coastal areas, you will get forts. So, second, if you take Aeolian landforms in India, Aeolian landforms are present near Rajasthan region, Bundelkhand region. Fine. When I say Bundelkhand region, It is these areas we are talking. Fine. And Andhra Pradesh region, especially near Pennar River, Anantapur areas and all, you will have Aeolian landforms. You will have erosional caves will be there. Depressions will be there. Mushroom rocks will be there. All types of depositional comes under what? Dunes, sand dunes. Fine. Apart from this, in India, karst. Karst topography is there in Eastern Ghats region, Araku Valley region. Andhra Pradesh. Rajasthan has limestone. For karst, limestone is very important. Uvala, Polje. Two types of questions. One is they will give you these terms and ask it is associated with which landforms. What is it? Is it a landform, lake, like trees? They may ask, or which of the following are erosional landforms of karst? They may give depositional also, erosional also. Just try to segregate it. NCERT, whatever you have, segregate. But these minimum you must be aware. Depositional, most importantly, stalactites. Have you heard? Stalactites hanging from above. Stalagmites, pillar. Coastal, almost all the coasts. First you will get notch. Notch. Caves. Stacks. depositional, bar, barrier, tombola, tombola. Done. Tombola is which joins mainland and an island. River, guys. We divide river into youth, mature, and old. Youth, mature, and old. Youth is steep slope where the river will have straight flow, almost straight flow, and erosion is more. Erosion is more. Waterfalls, rapids, potholes, plunge pools are examples of youth. Mature is gentle slope. Meandering will be there. Erosion is equal to deposition. Meandering. In this particular stage, you will have alluvial soil deposits, old alluvial, new alluvial deposits. Old stage, almost flat, we call intense meandering. Deposition will be very high. Features: oxbow lakes, braided channels, delta, estuary. Shall I? Delta largest, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghna Delta or Sundarbans. It is the largest in the world. It extends from India to Bangladesh. The most important delta, arcuate delta. Ganga, Brahmaputra comes under arcuate delta. Nile river is typical example. Amazon is also example of arcuate delta. Bird food delta is Mississippi, United States. Only bird food delta is Mississippi River, US. Lobate delta, Godavari River. Lobate delta, Godavari River. Quadrilateral delta, Kaveri. Yes. What is the difference between estuary and delta? Estuary. Says anywhere if the distance between the mountain and the water is less. This is C. If the distance is less, estuary is formed. Distance is more, deltas will be formed. Which side of India estuaries will be more? West coast. West coast has more estuaries. East coast has more deltas. Zero estuaries or less estuaries? less estuaries, because rivers which originate in eastern Ghats, they form estuaries, right? So western side also has estuaries, eastern side also has estuaries. Himalayan rivers will make huge deltas. Fine. Done. So one of the options will be the distance between the to form estuaries, mountains will be closer to the ocean. This will be the option. Okay, to form estuaries, mountains will be closer to the ocean. Done? Yeah. See, apart from this, closer to geomorphology, where you have biogeography, we say, is about soils. Soils. See, everyone, just how to eliminate. Soil pH normally is around 7. Okay, normally is around 7. Any process which add more humus, more fertilizers would lead to alkaline. Anything, any process where you add natural is also fine. Like, even if it is artificial, you add fertilizers, that also leads to alkaline. The moment we remove or humus is not formed, okay, removal process is called as leaching. Humus not formed in cold regions like coniferous. If snow is present, okay, at this point of time, it will normally become acidic. Punjab, Haryana, we will use lot of fertilizers. Soil will be alkaline. And Western Ghats, where heavy rainfall is there, what is going to happen? Leaching and acidic. Fine. It just depends upon where, what do you have. And then guys, if you take in India, please remember this carefully. Nitrogen is less. So we have to supply through urea. Okay, nitrogen is very less and we need to supply it through urea. Phosphorus is almost absent. Please remember this carefully. In entire Indian soils, phosphorus is almost absent because India doesn't have phosphorus rocks. Okay, so no soil, if they give you, alluvial soil has more phosphorus, right? Laterite has more phosphorus. The moment phosphorus is there, just remember we do not have much. We have good amount of potassium. Potassium, it is mostly present in all the soils. Okay, so based on this, you should try to come to conclusions in exam. Whatever comes about soils, these are the fundamental points about which you need to come to conclusion. Fine. Got these three? phosphorus, nitrogen, less urea, phosphorus, potassium. Fine. Then, when we say soil layers, can you try? What are all the layers? O layer, organic layer, organic layer. A is topsoil layer. E is alleviated. Yes, alleviated basically means removal. Everything will be removed. B layer is called alleviated layer, where everything will be accumulated. Alleviated layer will be dark in color. Alleviated layer will be light in color. C, you will have freshly weathered rocks, and below you will have parent rock. O, A, E, B, C, R. You have to remember the order. They'll ask you to arrange them in order. Yes. Everything accumulates. The layer which is exposed is topsoil. Whenever erosion occurs, the first layer to be removed is topsoil. If fertilizers are added, anything is accumulated, then it is which soil? Topsoil. Alleviated. Because of water flowing down, it will remove everything. So it will be light in color. The least fertile area in the soil is alleviated layer, as everything is removed. Alleviated is good because everything gets accumulated in this particular layer. Leaching occurs through C layer. Freshly weathered layer, leaching will be predominant. And then there are 4 things which leads to soil. Apart, first thing we say, soil is formed due to weathering and erosion. Second, soil is formed due to addition of minerals from outside. In soil, there can be removal processes also. Erosion comes under removal. Rainfall comes under addition. Soil deposition comes under addition. Weathering and erosion, addition, removal, transformation. Ferrous minerals will become ferrous oxide. Fine. Iron will become ferrous oxide. That is called transformation. If I put leaves, it will become humus. That is called as what? Transformation. You also have translocation. Translocation basically means it will be transferred from one layer to another layer. Just now we saw like from E layer everything is going to B layer. You see, E is what? Removal. B is accumulation. So when everything is removed from E layer and accumulates in B layer, that is called translocation. It is moving from one layer to another layer. Okay. So apart from this, can you try what are all the factors which determine soil formation? Factors which determine soil formation. First is parent rock. Parent rock. Guys, if you have granite rock, and if granite rock is broken down, it will form sand, silt and clay. But if you take basalt rock, it will always form clay. So type of parent rock determines what type of soil you will get. Second, rainfall plays a very, very important role. If we have granite, high rainfall, average rainfall, low rainfall, same rock. If you have high rainfall, it will form clay. Example, laterite soil in India. If it has low rainfall, it will form sand. Example, arid rainfall, arid soil. Here, loamy, red and yellow soil. So guys, these three are formed due to rainfall. In India, clay, black soil. Black soil is formed due to rock. Okay. Rock determines black soil. Rainfall determines laterite, red and yellow, arid. Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh has arid soil. Okay, mainly because rainfall is less. Done? Okay, after this, what are the other factors? Yes. Temperature determines soils. If you have very high temperature, the way we sweat, soil also will sweat, which leads to alkaline soil. If at all there is low temperature, bacterial activity reduces, which leads to acidic. Fine? Temperature. Is then relief, slope. Steep slope, less soil. Gentle slope, more soil thickness. factors. Time is required. Biological activity. These are the factors which affect soil formation. Based on the factors and layers, soils are divided into classification. Everyone, zonal soils. Zonal means all the layers are present. All the layers are present. But the soil is formed due to rainfall and temperature. Can you tell just now we saw which are the soils formed due to rainfall and temperature? Arid, laterite, red and yellow soil. These three in India are examples of zonal soils. Fine. Shall I? Zonal soils. All the layers are not developed. Any example, guys? Alluvial soil, especially new alluvial soil. Old alluvial soil, layers will be formed. You recollect Bangar, Khadar, Babar, Terai, Bangar, Khadar. Khadar is example of a zonal. And where will Khadar be present? Banks of the river, right? You have intrazonal soil. In intrazonal soil, all the layers are not, all the layers are present. It is similar to zonal, but here in intrazonal, it is formed due to parent rock. So, parent rock is the determining factor. In India, you will have black soil. Which is the other one? Mountain soils. Fine? Okay. Then soils in India. Okay. Yes. Where will you have alluvial soil? Great Plains of India, East Coast of India, Gujarat. Fine. Great Plains, East Coast, Gujarat. Which all states comes under Great Plains? Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam. Right? What all? Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam. East Coast. Which all states will come? Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and then Gujarat. Right? In all these areas, along with this banks of the river, but these are the major one where you will have which soil? Alluvial soil. Can alluvial soil be black soil? Can it be black in color? For example, Godavari River, Krishna River. Do they flow over, like, what do you call it as Maharashtra? Think until Krishna, Godavari, do they pass through Maharashtra? Maharashtra, which soil is there? Black soil. If a river is flowing through black soil, will it carry black soil? Will it deposit? Guntur region, Bhimavaram region, in these areas, you will have little bit of black soil. Why? They are deposited by Krishna, Godavari. Okay. So, normally, soils, alluvial doesn't mean the color. Please understand. Alluvial is not associated with color. Alluvial is associated with what? River deposits. Okay. You should focus only on that. So, any river flowing on any rock can carry it. Gold deposits can also be there. You take Subarnarekha River, gold deposits are there. So, it's more about what is flowing through that. And what type of soil is alluvial soil? What type of soil? It is azonal soil. Mostly we say it is azonal soil. And in India, it is divided into 4 parts. Bhabar, right? So, Bhabar, it is the first layer present below Himalayas. These are called boulders, or these are made up of boulders. Huge rocks will be present. In this layer, streams appear or disappear? Disappear. Trees will have deep roots. Bhabar. Again, it will be from Punjab to Assam. Will you have Bhabar in coastal plains? All alluvial soils are not divided into Bhabar, Terai, Bangar, Kadar. Only in India, Great Plains region, we divide it into these 4. Just a minute. Bhabar, then Terai region. Here you will have fine grain, streams reappear, they are good for paddy cultivation. Sugarcane cultivation also. In this region, there can be evergreen forest. Bangar is old alluvial soil. Old alluvial soil. Then excessive use of fertilizers. Okay. Old alluvial, above floodplain. Above floodplain. Excessive use of fertilizers. And whenever you have excessive use of fertilizers, it leads to saline soils like kankar, kallar, usar, and reh. Bhabar, Terai, Bangar, and then Khadar. Fine. Khadar is within floodplains. And it is fertile and good for cultivation. Yes. Alluvial is largest in India. Area wise, largest soil in India is alluvial. Second largest is black soil and red and yellow soil. Both the soils are second largest. And black soil, if you take, it is mostly formed from which one? Basalt rock. And if you want to remember where is black soil present, just recollect it as above Vindhyas and below Satpuras. Can you try which states are there above Vindhyas? Which state is there above Vindhyas? Just above Vindhyas? Madhya Pradesh. Parts of Gujarat, parts of Rajasthan. What will be there? Black soil. Below Vindhyas means which soil will be there? Sorry, which states will come? Maharashtra, North Karnataka, parts of Telangana. Right? So, above Vindhyas, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Eastern Rajasthan, below Satpuras, Maharashtra, Telangana, North Karnataka. It is second largest in area. Cotton soil. Fine. Black cotton soil. It is also called Reger soil. Self-plowing soil, because they develop cracks. When is it easy to till? Summer or rainy season? Summer. Rainy, it becomes sticky, right? Self-plowing soil. It is also clayey soil. It develops cracks, guys. Helps in aeration. Helps in aeration. Please remember, water holding capacity is more. Black soil will have very high water holding capacity. And every soil is good for agriculture. Any soil, even arid soil is good for agriculture if water is provided. Okay, so you get this black soil. Next, yeah, try red and yellow. Wherever, which minerals must be there? Ferrous minerals must be there. It is also second largest, and it is also loamy soil. Sand, silt and clay mixture will be there. In India, Chota Nagpur Plateau, parts of Telangana, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, southern Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. This soil is also very good for cultivation. Then laterite. So just to confuse you in the exam, they will say laterite is associated with low rainfall. Okay. Laterite cannot be formed if there is less rainfall. So it requires high rainfall and very high temperatures. Very high rainfall and very high temperature helps in laterite soil. This is the first principle. To confuse you, they may use less rainfall, all those. And as it has high temperature and high rainfall, it is formed due to ultimate weathering process. That means it is the last stage of weathering. Laterite is last stage of weathering. It is clayey soil. We also call it as brick soil. It becomes soft when water is added and becomes hard when it is heated. As there is heavy rainfall, leaching is very high. It is mostly in red color, mainly associated with iron. In India, it is present in Western Ghats and West Coast, Chota Nagpur Plateau, Meghalaya Plateau. Done? 3 regions only. Which are the other 2 soils? Mountain soils, arid soil. Mountain soils present on top of all the mountains. Thickness depends on slope of the soil. Arid soil is also sandy soil, where 90% is sand. Water holding capacity is less. See, sand means gap is more, holding capacity is less. Arid soils. In India, Western Rajasthan, Gujarat, especially in Run of Kutch, little bit of Haryana. Fine. Next. This was once previous year question. Soil erosion. See, in soil erosion, the first stage is splash erosion. Fine. The first stage is splash erosion. Second stage is sheet erosion. Third stage is rills, gully, ravines. This was asked in the exam. Arrange in order. Splash, sheet, rills, gully, ravines. Badland topography is ravines. Chambal ravines are famous in India. Okay. Ravines means in India there is only one, that is Chambal ravines. Apart from this, soil conservation First is, this can be asked as shelter belts. What is the meaning of shelter belts? Around the agricultural land, trees must be grown. Okay? Growing trees around agricultural land is called shelter belts. Strip farming, that is, in same field multiple crops are grown. Fine. In same field, if multiple crops are grown, it is called strip farming. Contour farming, tilling the land perpendicular to the slope. Contour, tilling the land perpendicular to the slope. Last, convert it into steps. Fine. These are soil conservation methods. Okay. We'll see oceanography. Take break. We'll see oceanography. In oceanography, first bottom topography. Fine, bottom topography. In this, first is continental shelf. What is the characteristic of continental shelf? It will have gentle slope. It will be shallow water. It is also called shelf sea. Gentle slope, shallow water, shelf sea. Continental shelf is part of the country's exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone. And in this particular part, oil and natural gas is present. Continental shelf, oil and natural gas is present. It is least developed near Chile. Near Chile. Most developed Siberian region. It is formed due to deposition, which is exogenetic. It can also be formed due to submergence, which is endogenetic. Rich in fishes, because there are lot of phytoplanktons. Best region is Dogger Bank. Dogger Bank is the best fishing ground present in North Sea region. Fine. Dogger Bank, North Sea region. Then continental slope will have steep slope and less living organism. It is also made up of silica and aluminium. In case if there is a passive margin, continental rise. Passive margin means no earthquakes, no trenches. Passive margin basically means no trenches. Continental rise will be present. Continental rise is rich in minerals. Abyssal plains. Abyssal plains. Flat areas from continent till islands or ridges. Then just thickness of abyssal plains depends upon age of the crust and number of trenches present. Number of trenches present. Abyssal plain has more thickness in Atlantic Ocean compared to Pacific Ocean. Sediments in Atlantic is more compared to Pacific Ocean. What is the reason? Because Pacific Ocean has more trenches. Thickness is thickness of sediments. Thickness of sediments depends upon. Islands or ridges volcanic in origin, mostly associated with tectonic movement. Tectonic movement. Done? Isolated is seamount, flat topped is Guyot, hotspot volcano, not present along plate boundary. Please understand, it is present in between the plates. Hotspot volcano, it is present in between plate and it is formed due to localized Magma rising. Localized magma rising. Example, Hawaiian volcano. Hotspot also looks like seamounts. Seamounts. Have you brought atlas? No. Open at least, like, world physical map, you see, quickly. World physical map. Okay. If not, open, not everywhere it's there. Open plate tectonics map, please. Natural hazards will be there, you see. Yeah, next page. This one. Yes. Plate tectonics map. Yes. Yes, ma'am. That one. Yes, everyone. At least in mobile, you see. Yes. Normally, North America, South America, Europe, Africa is a divergent boundary, right? So you will have mid-Atlantic ridges, right? You can see mid-Atlantic ridges starts almost from Greenland, right? And it is almost till South America. You can see till the bottom, Africa, right? Africa. And you can see below Africa it turns and enters into Indian Ocean also. Okay. You can see it is present in Indian Ocean also. From Indian Ocean it will go to Pacific Ocean also. And from Pacific it comes back to Atlantic. Can you see? Yes. So remember, ridges in the world are interconnected. Ridges in the world are interconnected. And they are responsible for formation of oceans. Which two oceans especially? Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is formed due to divergent boundary. Indian Ocean is also formed due to divergence and convergence. For example, if you take Atlantic, purely divergence, right? North America, South America diverged from Africa and North America, South America diverged from Europe and Africa. Whereas when it comes to this particular part, India diverged from Africa, Antarctica moved downwards, Australia moved. So this led to formation of Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean is a combination of both convergent boundary and divergent boundary. Atlantic Ocean is a combination of divergent only, mostly divergent. See, this is the reason trenches are present in Indian Ocean. In Indian Ocean, trenches are present. Pacific Ocean is remaining part of Panthalassa, if you recollect, right? Panthalassa. And what is the Pacific Ocean? Pacific Ocean is convergent from all the sides, right? Pacific Ocean is convergent from almost all the sides. See, another way, in Atlantic Ocean only divergence is there. Is that true? Can you see here? Here convergence is there. Here little convergence is there. Only is always wrong. Mostly what? Divergence. Atlantic Ocean mostly is what? Divergence. Indian Ocean is what? Convergence and divergence. Pacific is mostly what? Convergence. right? Pacific is converged from all the sides, which leads to what we call as Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, when we say Pacific Ring of Fire, it includes, this can be question. See, volcanoes are happening, earthquakes are there, there is possibility of ring of fire as well. What all comes under ring of fire? You see, first, Andes Mountains. Everyone, Pacific Ocean surrounding countries, you see, what all will come? Andes Mountains, Rocky Mountains. If they ask you, what are all part of Pacific Ring of Fire? Which all are part of Pacific Ring of Fire? Which continents will come? North America, South America on the eastern side, Asia and Australia on the western side. If you see here, see, which is this mountain? Rocky Mountains, Andes Mountains. In this particular part, Aleutian Islands will be there. You can check. In this particular part, Aleutian Islands. What separates or what connects Asia and North America? Okay, what connects Asia and North America? Aleutian Islands. Okay, and Aleutian Islands are like this. Aleutian Islands are like this, horizontal. When they come like this, they prevent glaciers entering into Pacific Ocean. Please understand, in Pacific Ocean, glacier movement from the poles are less because of Aleutian Islands. Okay, Atlantic Ocean, glacier movement is easy because mid-Atlantic ridges are like this. It can come down like this. Whereas Aleutian, barricade is there. Okay. After Aleutian, guys, this particular part, everyone, you can see Sakhalin Islands and Japan. Can you, if you see, you have Kurile Islands, guys. Kurile, Kurile Islands. They are part of which one? Pacific Ring of Fire. What is this? Japan. Right? After Japan, you have Taiwan. Taiwan, Philippines. Philippines, Pacific Islands. New Zealand. Not Australia. Please understand, Australia is not part of Pacific Ring of Fire because Australia do not have volcanoes. It is eastern side. Australia is little inside. What all will come? You see, Andes, Rocky. What are these? Aleutian, Kurile, Japan, Philippines, Pacific Island countries, New Zealand. These are all part of which one? Pacific Ring of Fire. Recently there was a tsunami alert near Tonga, like closer to Mariana Trenches, right? Eastern side of Australia, Mariana, these areas they are predicting you will have tsunamis. This is Pacific Ring of Fire. Why you do not have Pacific Ring of Fire in Atlantic? Or in Atlantic, what is there? Atlantic is mid-oceanic ridges. Okay, second, mid-oceanic ridges are divergent boundary. Divergent boundary will have quiet volcanoes. Divergent boundary will have quiet volcanoes. Convergent boundary will have explosive volcanoes. Okay, and we also call it as stratovolcanoes. What is the meaning of stratovolcanoes? Stratovolcanoes basically means you are talking about multiple layers. One layer of magma, one layer of ash. One layer of magma, one layer of ash, where you will have convergent boundaries. Stratovolcanoes will be there. And this is found in this particular part. See, this year there is possibility of all this because continuously you are hearing one or the other news about the things. Second, you should focus. You see here, it starts from Himalayas. Himalayas, Kunlunshan, Sulaiman and all. From here, it comes to Arakan Yoma. From Arakan Yoma to Andaman and Nicobar. Andaman and Nicobar to Indonesia, right? Andaman and Nicobar, Indonesia. This particular part is also continuous and there is earthquakes in this region also. Nepal had earthquake, right? Myanmar had. So this region is another one which is most affected. And what type of boundary it is? Convergent boundary. Pacific Ocean is what type of boundary? Convergent boundary. This is what type? Divergent. Atlantic Ocean has less tsunamis, mainly because trenches are almost absent. Right? Trenches are mostly associated with what? Tsunamis. So, yeah. After this, you'll have trenches. Trenches. These are deepest part of the oceans. Mostly associated with convergent boundary. Earthquakes will be there. Possibility of tsunami is also there. Fine. Then salinity. Okay, guys, in oceans, original NCRT, you'll have a box. 11th standard, you'll have a box. In that, how much fresh water is there? How much salt water is there? How much glaciers are there? This is given. Please read that once carefully. That box is very, very important. Fine. 0 to 5 parts per thousand will be called as fresh water. 5 to 30 parts per thousand is called brackish water. 30 to 35 parts per thousand is called as saline water. Greater than 35 parts per thousand is called as brine water. Average ocean salinity is 35 parts per thousand, but don't worry, numbers will mostly go wrong. Fine. And in the ocean, where will you have highest salinity, guys? Subtropical region will have highest salinity. What is the reason? Low rainfall. Offshore winds. Deserts are mostly made up of offshore winds. Less influx of rivers. Because of these three reasons, highest salinity is found in subtropical region. Then, why not near equator? Yeah. Equator, less salinity, not least, less salinity because of more rainfall, even though there is evaporation. Evaporation is also there, but rainfall is also more. Lake Van in Turkey. Lake Van in Turkey has highest salinity. Superior is largest freshwater lake. Local winds leads to waves. Local winds leads to waves. And waves are movement of energy and not particles. The main thing about waves are movement of energy, not movement of particles. If we take planetary winds, it is mostly associated with ocean currents. Endogenetic movements leads to tsunami. 2004 we had tsunami. 2024 10 years. Possibility of question is there. 20 years, yeah. 20 years question can be there about tsunami. Tsunami warnings are also increasing. So now tsunami is due to earthquakes, nuclear bomb testing, glacier calvings. Calvings means breaking and falling into river. Sorry, falling into ocean. Earthquakes, nuclear bomb testing, glacier calvings, volcanic eruptions, mudslide, mudslide. Some people tell it is also due to meteors. Meteors, when they fall, even that can lead to tsunami. Basic definition of tsunami is displacement of water. Fine. Next. Tides. What are the factors associated? Gravitational force of moon, gravitational force of sun, Centripetal force of Earth. Centrifugal force of Earth. Anything more? Depth of ocean water. Configuration of coast. Bay of Fundy, North America, has highest tides. Gulf of Kutch and Kambat, India, has highest tides. For tides to be highest, opening must be wider and should narrow inside. Opening must be wider and it should narrow inside. Fine. Then types. Diurnal tides. One high tide and one low tide. Semi-diurnal tides. Two high tides and two low tides per day. Mixed semi-diurnal, two high tides and two low tides per day. High tide height varies. That means you will not get same height both the times. You will have different heights in different time period. Spring tides, full moon, and new moon, 2 times per month. Neap tides, quadrature position, two times per month. Because of Mahakumbh or so, if you think, when all the planets align. It's called syzygy. Okay, all the planets align in a single line. It will be called syzygy. Fine. So, because after this, we have to see ocean currents. That's the topic of oceanography. I'll do the detail because we need to see. Bring atlas. Fine. We'll have class on Monday. Timing, they'll let you know.